Today I'm going to be playing the MiG-21 SPS-K, which of course is in the German tree as a premium. If we go over to the aviation, we'll be able to see it here. It's currently at 9.7. It was at 10.0 for a while, but it was a week or two ago that they had the BR changes, and that brought it down to 9.7. Take a look at the modifications here. You can see that it can carry, a couple of R60s, or you can carry R3R and R3Ss. Now you can carry up to 4 of those if you'd like, whether you want to carry 4 R3Ss, 4 R3Rs, or a mix of the two. And of course, if you want to, you could create your own loadout. If you wanted to carry, let's say, 3 R3Rs and 1 R3S, you could do that. And then you have the choice between a countermeasure pod for 64 different countermeasures, or the 23 millimeter, water pistol. Now, personally, I choose to take this over the flare pod since I would very much like to have my gun on this. Have gotten plenty of gun kills in it. I just, and as annoying as it can be to get killed by something with like a 9L, uh, from most of the other missiles that you face, you're going to be able to avoid just without countermeasures. And the few aircraft that you could see that have 9Ls, you're probably going to be able to, just if you pay attention enough, you will be able to get away from them, so you won't be able to even have them fire 9L at you. But let's hop into the battle and see what we can do. So for this video, I'm going to be trying to post-commentate. Hopefully that will be a little bit better. We'll see. Of course, it'll take time for me to get better at not rambling, kind of like how I was at the beginning of the video there. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, or if you skipped, welcome. As you can see, we are flying up at high altitude in the clouds. We're seeing an F-100 here, who we just turn around and fire an R-60 at. Since he doesn't have any flares or anything, there's not a whole lot he could have done. I would say maybe if he was a little bit further away, he could have maneuvered. The R-60 doesn't have a very long range, so it's relatively easy to defeat if you're not, as long as you're not super close. And the altitude doesn't help him as well, since there's less air resistance up here, so the missile can travel further. It's just all around better. All missiles are better at higher altitudes. Here we are with an F-104A that we're turning around for. I believe, if I remember correctly, we're going to get him in just a second here. So we're following him. I could be wrong, but I think he pulls up above the clouds, and we'll follow him and get him as he comes back down. Assuming this is the correct match that I'm remembering, which I believe it is now, yeah. Yep, this should be it. He's pulling up here, which in reality, what he should have done is he should have just kept going straight. There's no reason for why he pulled up and went back down. All he did was just let me get closer to him, and just close enough to get an R60 off. As you saw, I locked him off the radar real quick just to make it easier to lock my R60 onto him, and fired that, and it was pretty easy to hit. He was about, I think, 1.5 kilometers away from me when I fired. Not too far. We're going to dive down here on this F5, and I believe that was my last kill for this game. And I'll bring up a point here in a second when I remember, I remember what happened and what I did wrong. Well, I did a few things wrong here. First of all, I should not have overshot that F5. That shouldn't have happened. I should have either slowed down to stay on him and not gone past him, or I should have just gone, or I should have kept up my speed, done a pass, and zoomed off. Instead, what I did is I slowed down too much, but I still was too fast to pass him. Now, if you notice, there's a hunter, and that's an F6 because he has SRAMs. But what I didn't notice is I didn't notice that kill in the chat, and as I passed him, I was thinking that he was a hunter F1. Because I didn't see the F6, all I saw was the hunter F. Now, that was my mistake for assuming that he was an F1 and not noticing the kill feed. Though at the time, I believe I was just a little bit busy trying to avoid that F5. Now here I am, trying to extend out. Of course, since this is SPS-K, I'm not, accelerating too well. Now, I'm also burning some of my energy here to avoid these missiles, which means that I'm getting slower, and, all these guys are able to catch up to me. And again, that hunter, which I didn't realize until just after once he killed me, that he was an F6, and that was my fault. I should have assumed that he was an F6. I don't know why I was thinking he was an F1 for some reason. Like, during the match, I was assuming that he was. Of course, that's a major mistake I made on my part, along with the others that ended up getting me killed. Now, here we are on City, and you see that F-104. I was thinking about going for him, but he was going to be too far away by the time I turned around. So I'm just going to head and find another target. Of course, we see a demon right down here. But I think, yeah, I believe he's the one I'm going to follow. And I believe I'm going to be firing my R60 at him in just a second. But you'll notice something, that it doesn't hit despite getting real close. You'll fire, yep, right here. Doesn't have any flares or anything. He's not, he doesn't really outmaneuver or anything. He just pulls and it goes right by him. So that's just another example of a missile bug, or the fuse bug going on right now. So hopefully that'll get fixed soon. I was talking about that a lot in my last video. But, we'll get him anyways. We'll get him my guns real quick. We'll crit him, and then he'll end up dying real quick. Just in a second there, he'll die. And then I still have my second R60. I'm going to go after, I believe I go after this AV-8A here. But he crashes he crashes in that building. So I am going to, I believe, yeah, I'm going to get away from the same 9 now, just barely. You should be able to see it on screen. Yep, it's real close. Luckily, I am able to turn and just evade it. However, the same A-10 is going to come over and get me with his cannons. Some sort of desync there at the seams, because those guns looked like they weren't very close to me, but obviously they were. Now, in this next game here, I believe we're going to go on to this J35A, and he'll do fairly well at the beginning, but later on I will get him. He'll make a bit of a mistake. As you can see, he's turning here, and with R60s, that's what you want to do. If you just keep turning and pulling hard, I probably could have launched one right there and got him. My teammate was close by, and I didn't want to, have to worry about that. But as you can see, he's out turning me here a bit, and now he starts slowing down. But if he just keeps on turning, and you see he stops here, and I'm able to fire. But if he just kept on turning around and around and around, and he could have easily outrated me. But he didn't. He just turned off straight. I'm not sure why he did that. Maybe he wouldn't know what he was doing. It was a J35A, though, so that could be why. Now, you see those two contrails that are way up there? Those are two, yeah, you can see that other one right there. Those are both, I believe, AV-8As. Those are the last two in the game that end up staying alive. Or we end up killing them at the end, but they're the last two alive on their team. I had thought about going for them right there, but they were so high up above me and going, they were fairly far away. I just decided I'd go help out my teammates with these other Drakens and the F5. Now, if you take a look at the J35D and the J35XS, they're both 10.7, I believe, or the J35D might be 10.3. But if I remember correctly, the J35D only has 4 RB24Js, so which are the same as almost the same as on-Js, except that I believe they can be radar slaved, whereas 9Js can't, since they're technically like AIM-9P4s. But the other more important thing is, I know that the J35XS has 12 countermeasures and the J35D has none. So what you're going to see here is I'm going to launch at this J35D. I'm not going to even worry about him flaring it. I mean, I guess, of course, there could be the bug, but there wasn't. So I did pretty well there. Of course, I made a few mistakes in this video, but in this game I did decently well. So we're gonna, you see that one AV-8 came down, and that other one is starting to come down. And I'm gonna be chasing them across the map here, but they're able, and there's an A10, but they're all gone before I am able to get them. So this will be the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see.